Now turning to Afghanistan, where more Americans have been killed in the past 2 months than in Iraq. Today, U.S. troops reinforced a remote outpost one day after a brutal insurgent attack. Our chief foreign affairs correspondent, Lara Logan, is in Washington. And Lara, I understand that attack over the weekend happened in a very dangerous part of Afghanistan.
Yes, that's exactly right, Katie. As one senior U.S. commander put it, these soldiers were right in the teeth of the enemy in hardcore al-Qaeda territory.
The target was a tiny combat outpost that had just been set up a few miles from the Afghan-Pakistan border. At 04:30 local time, a massive attack began that would leave 9 U.S. soldiers dead, 14 wounded, and about 50 enemy casualties. U.S. officials say about 100 enemy fighters were engaged in a ferocious close-up battle, supported by another 100 on the perimeters. They opened up from a nearby mosque first, Afghan officials say, a heavy barrage that rained down on the U.S. outpost for over 4 hours. U.S. and Afghan officials say the sophisticated planning and execution of this attack could only have come from al-Qaeda. Afghanistan's ambassador to the U.S. says the freedom al-Qaeda enjoys inside Pakistan's tribal areas is making Afghanistan much more dangerous for U.S. and Afghan forces.
The real threat is al-Qaeda, and the real threat is also the continuation of the support that they receive in Pakistan.
This exclusive Taliban CBS News shows another attack by the same group responsible for this weekend's assault in the same region, they claim. Here you can just make out U.S. soldiers on patrol with Afghans moments before. Pinned down in the open, these 2 U.S. soldiers are hit by heavy fire. Later, the body of a U.S. soldier is shown, with shouts of "God is great" from the militants.
These attacks in the very remote mountainous areas of Afghanistan show how tough the fight is for U.S. forces, Katie.
And Lara, how did these insurgents get so close to U.S. troops?
Well, clearly there was a very serious failure of intelligence, particularly human intelligence, because the U.S. commanders I've spoken to say it's impossible for, about 200 fighters to mass in the area without the knowledge of local people, and yet nobody told either the U.S. soldiers or their Afghan colleagues. So there had to be at least some support amongst the local population for these fighters. The U.S. is also investigating whether there was enough security out there, given that there were just 45 U.S. soldiers in this very remote area, and that has now been reinforced to stop the base being overrun. Katie.
All right, Lara Logan in Washington tonight. Lara, thank you.